A very pleasant good evening to you wherever you may be. Welcome into the Midstate 48 presented by Miracle Auto Group on a special Tuesday night edition. As we get you ready for the BlueCross Bowl, guys, we've finally hit the last week of the season. We're all headed to Chattanooga tomorrow for 9 championship games, 7 of which include teams from our coverage area. So plenty to talk about in this episode with all 5 of us on board. And KJ's grooving right now, so he's ready to talk some ball.
So excited.
Yeah, one more week.
Yep.
Went by fast.
God, it did.
Too fast, I think.
You trying to hurt me, Chris?
Well,
I don't want to talk about it. I'm sad.
Well, I mean, maybe we have something toward the end of the show that might cheer you up a little bit.
Tease. You tease.
Maybe a little bit. We'll see. Got to stick around for that, though, toward the 8 o'clock mark before we reveal some stuff. So
That's right.
hopefully you're hanging around for that. But for those of you hopping on, welcome in. And let's start talking about some championship games. And we'll start with that first one on Thursday. Boyd Buchanan and CPA, Gary Rankin against Ingle Martin, the undefeated Bucks against the one-loss Lions. This could be a pretty good ball game to start off the weekend.
Could be. CPA is just a different beast right now, though, as they have been all year. Boyd hasn't really faced anything like this, but you want to talk about coaching matchups. This is the best one. It's not even close. Ingle Martin, Gary Rankin. CPA has gotten the better of Boyd the last couple of years, and we'll see in our predictions here in a little bit. But I really like this Lions team. They're 4 points away from being undefeated. Lost to another team competing this weekend in Pearl Cone. So it just seems like it's finally their year after the last couple of years against Lipscomb Academy.
Yep.
See,
Yeah. Ingle Martin, you mentioned the coaching matchup. Ingle Martin is one of the only coaches that has a state championship game victory over Gary Rankin. So he knows what it's like to beat arguably the best coach in Tennessee high school football history in the biggest game. So that paired with the senior leadership of that CPA team, Boyd Buchanan, first time making it to the state title game since going to Division II. And that's just a testament, as I said, of what Coach Rankin's able to do. And I don't believe this is the last time we'll see them in this game.
no, I think that this is the beginning for Boyd Buchanan. They're actually here a little bit earlier than some people expected. It really is going to depend on Boyd's ability to keep the game close. They keep this game close, they have a good chance on pulling it off. CPA is a tough nut to crack. Boyd cannot make any mistakes. CPA has a, they've just got a solid running game. They're solid all the way across the board. One of the most complete teams in the state. It's going to be a tough task for the Buccaneers.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about Boyd's defense or CPA's defense a lot, led by Cruz Law, and we got Jackson Matthews out there as well. I think the way for Boyd Buchanan to keep it close, you got to be able to run the ball on them, and that's going to be a tough task with that defense.
Yep. Joe, give me one player that you think really needs to have a strong game for CPA.
Cruz Law. Simple as that. Cruz Law. There's a reason he's Mr. Football finalist. He watched his brother the last couple of years get to this stage. They won a title a couple of years ago with Cade leading the way. But Cruz wants to go out a winner. That's all he knows is winning. He's a beast on both sides of the ball. But if you're looking for not the obvious name, I'd probably say Braden Streeter. Sneakily been one of the best quarterbacks in the state this year, and I think they need another big night from him because I think Boyd's really going to key in on the run. You got to stretch the game with the pass game.
Yeah, these two teams have played in the playoffs each of the last 2 years. CPA has won both and en route to silver balls for the Lions, and now they're looking to get gold again after suffering a couple of shutout losses to Lipscomb Academy the last 2 years. And I know they're happy to have Lipscomb gone, and they're now the favorite again instead of having to be more of the underdog in this championship game. But do you guys think that CPA relishes that fact now, or do you think that maybe Boyd Buchanan's coming in here, possibly trying to pull an upset?
I think they're going to come out focused. Just listening to the interviews last week, week before last, from John Wayne Oliver and Cruz Law, I think they're going to come out focused. I think they are hungry for that gold ball. They know that as long as they play within themselves, they should win this football game. And I look for them to do that. But getting silver back-to-back years is never easy. Page is going through the same thing, a team we'll talk about here in a little bit. But it's never easy. But when you consider the team that beat them both times and what that, how star-studded those teams were, CPA was a clear number 2 the last couple of years, and they were the clear number 1 this year, and they've been able to carry their own weight so far. So I look for them to come out and play with a kind of a quiet confidence.
I don't think there's any chance that Ingle Martin is going to let his guys get too up for this game. He's just too good of a coach, and and truthfully, I think the Pearl loss earlier may have done some good to let them know that they're not infallible. Even though it happened early in the season, I think this team is going to be focused.
Yep. Trey's asking, are we going to the games this weekend? Yep, we're going to all of them. We'll be there. We're all leaving tomorrow to go down to Chattanooga. We'll be there the entire weekend, coming back Sunday. So, full weekend for the crew. Gonna be a fun weekend. So, yeah, appreciate the question for that one.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and talk about.
You chose well, Matt.
Yeah. Let's talk about that second game at 3 p.m. Eastern kickoff between Middle Tennessee Christian and Friendship Christian. MTCS in it for the first time. Friendship Christian looking to go back-to-back. Cougars won the regular season meeting, but it feels like this could be a reversal of fortunes. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think that this game is going to be, this game is going to be a tale of two teams both coming out with their own hunger, so to speak. Friendship coming out trying to avenge that regular season loss to Middle Tennessee Christian. And Middle Tennessee Christian, as a team, was very frustrated with Eli Wilson being left off of the Mr. Football finalists list. So it will be interesting to see, which one can control their emotions first time in a state championship game for football for Middle Tennessee Christian. Of course, Friendship's been here and done that. It will be interesting to see which team can be fired up but also play controlled.
Yeah, no, beating a team is tough, especially a team as good as Friendship. And Tyson Walcott did not have his best game in the first time these two teams met. So I think he knows that. He's admittedly said it. Like Cam said, you got one team that's been here, done that. The other team doing it for the first time. It's going to be really interesting because I think MTCS is really built strong enough to give Friendship issues, whereas Friendship is built to give MTCS some issues. So I think it's nice that we got clearly the two best teams in D2 AA playing each other for a state title. I think they've been the two best all year, and I'm excited for this one.
I think Tyson Walcott has a good game. I mean, he's been on fire these last few weeks, and yeah, Eli Wilson's looking, and the Cougars offense is looking to make a statement saying that Eli Wilson should be a Mr. Football finalist, but there's something about Tyson Walcott in that O-line that's just hard to stop.
Yeah, both these teams have something to prove. Friendship Christian would like to prove that the first game was an aberration against Middle Tennessee Christian. Middle Tennessee Christian, they'd like to prove that they belong here and that they are the best team in Division II Single A. That being said, I think the key to this game is, as Cam said, the experience factor. And Coach McNeil has been here before. So I think that plays a lot into it. Middle Tennessee, the winner of this game is going to be the one who makes the least mistakes and the one that plays with control. And I think that this is going to be one heck of a game. Get your track shoes on because it's going to go up and down the field.
Yeah, these two defenses have been very good in the postseason. So I'm curious to see if we do get that track meter, if it does more resemble that first game, which was 16-14. I mean, the obvious suspects is Eli Wilson against Tyson Walcott, but is there somebody else that you're looking at to be a X factor for either team here?
Jesse Perry. He's got to be a force. He's recruited to be an offensive lineman to Tennessee, but he's going to have to be a force on the defensive line for Middle Tennessee Christian and have to get some penetration and make Tyson, break that first tackle in the backfield and not, 3 or 4 yards downfield.
Luke Sellers. If the running game stalls and this becomes, Chris, as you said, a short, a small ball type of game, it could all rest on Luke Sellers' arm.
No, you're muted.
Oh, sorry. I was just saying those are the two names that come to mind for me as well.
KJ, you got one?
I was thinking Jason Perry as well. So
one other name, Landon Williams. This game, I have a feeling this game will be close, and he's a wild card in special teams. So,
Yep.
Well, we're going to have some stuff from that Macaulay Baylor game as well Thursday night, but for purposes of this show, we're going to skip to Friday and start with Alcoa and East Nashville. It's 11 a.m. Eastern kickoff. Third time, hopefully the charm for East Nashville. At least they want to be that way, but Alcoa's been Alcoa for most of the year, and another tough challenge for the Eagles this time.
If they were playing any other team, they'd be the favorite in this game. Unfortunately, they're playing an Alcoa team that should be playing for a 4A or a 5A state title instead of a 3A. Yeah, it's tough. If you're East Nashville, you got to go in feeling confident because of how well you played them last year. But a lot of those guys are gone. You have a new coaching staff that wasn't a part of those championship runner-up teams. It's going to be tough. You're going to have to – the sophomores are going to have to play like grown men on Friday to really pull this upset because this is one of the better Alcoa teams we've seen.
The weather may have a little something to say about this, and that may help slow down Alcoa's passing game if it rains. And if that's the case, then KJ can get. I keep wanting to say KJ, RKJ, but the running game for East may have a little bit more of effect. And the defense may be able to get some turnovers that way. That's what's going to happen. East Nashville is going to have to turn Alcoa over. They're going to have to get them frustrated, and they're going to have to get out. And any opportunities that Alcoa gives them, they have to capitalize.
yeah, I mean the way they played against Liberty, we know like Brian Raker can throw the ball, but they put pressure on him, and they forced him to make decisions that he usually wouldn't make. So I feel like they have to go out there and do that against Alcoa to give them a good chance of winning that game.
yeah, I rewatched that game this week from last year, and it was 21-20 with 31 seconds to go till halftime. And it went into half 31-20. Just because of a couple of miscues that I think anyone on that east side would tell you doesn't happen in all 14 of the other games last year. One thing that I think that East can take confidence in is, they're playing Big Bad Alcoa, but they played them last year. They played them the year before last. They are used to playing Alcoa, which is a good thing. Because there may not be that shock factor. Now, does that mean that it makes it any easier to beat them? Not really, but it definitely lessens the wow factor. Ultimately, this game's going to come down to can East Nashville run the football and can they create a couple turnovers, in my opinion, and that's easier said than done.
Yeah, we mentioned that game last year. Special teams errors did them in, for the most part. Then that's going to be one thing that they've got to look into, make sure that you don't have any coverage hiccups and you don't miss kicks. You can't leave points on the table at all against a team like Alcoa, because if you do, they're going to make you pay for it. But we mentioned X factors in the first two games. Give me one here, if you don't mind, guys.
One of the most
Jordan.
slept on guys in Middle Tennessee, Jordan Houston.
Yeah.
On agreement.
If he can get a defensive score, that could give a lot of momentum and a lot of confidence to this East team, especially if it happens early.
Keelan Anderson, he's a running back. He's a defensive back. He plays both ways, and he can be effective on both sides of the ball.
All right. Anything else to add, KJ, Joe?
I'm good.
Damian Harris.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, let's talk about this for a second, because Damian Harris comes from Pearl Cone, where it's
Right.
not his first rodeo in a BlueCross Bowl either. So, what impact does that have on this team with his experience coming from Pearl Cone?
Yeah, that's a good question, and that's why I shouted him out, because I think that this team is a little bit different identity than last year's team, and they can put that that memory. It can leave a bad taste in the mouth of some, but for the most part, it's a whole new season. And Coach Harris, he definitely has these kids flying high. So,
all right, let's go with
that was an unintentional eagle pun.
Flew right over our heads.
There you go.
Bird pun inserted.
Yeah. So we'll dive right into the next game on Friday. Knox West and Page, 7 Eastern. A redo of last year, which was a 47-13 Knox West win, and Page vowing to not play like that again.
Defensively, I think Page is going to be just fine in this one. It's the offense I'm worried about. Knox West defense is probably better than it was last year, as scary as that may sound. The Rebels they built something really strong out there. They're running through everybody, I believe. Man, they're only lost to Alcoa, and that's saying something, because Alcoa is freaking good.
Right.
But they've run through the competition. They've been really impressive here in the postseason. And Page, as well as they've played defensively, their offense has kind of sputtered these last 2 weeks, and you can't have that sort of production against this defense. So they get the offense going, it could be a very different game than what we saw last year. I think this is going to be a defensive masterclass for both teams.
No, agreed. You guys know how I feel about Page's defense. Their defensive line gets after it every game, and then which causes errors on quarterbacks and makes plays in the secondary. But Knox West's defense, they're experienced. They've been here for a couple of years now, and they beat Page last year. But I think Joe said it best. This is going to be a defensive game for sure.
Yeah, defensive game is all over it. You look at this Knox West team, I think, Joe, you're exactly right. They're better defensively than they were last year. I don't think they're as much of a juggernaut on offense as they were last year, which is definitely a good thing for the Patriots. Just looking over their schedule a little bit, that one loss to Alcoa, 24-7, 8-7 win against Anderson County. The one game that kind of throws up flags is a 20-9 win against Halls. That's a team, that's Halls, Anderson County. I would say Page is probably better than both of those teams. And that's not knocking those teams. That's just, the Patriots defense is really, really good. This one could be the first one to score twice.
Ronan O'Connell, Jacob Rathbone, and the rest of that offensive line. I think that we've yet to see their best game yet. This is going to be a game of attrition. It's going to be nothing fancy. It's going to be probably short passing games, run the ball. That's Page's MO. That's what they do. Knox West, it's similar to, their offense isn't quite as good, but it's still really, really good. It's going to be a tough game. But I feel like Page. I think that they are ready to crest the hill. I think they're ready to push somebody off a mountain. And this defense, I fully believe that this defense can win games themselves.
They did last
Scott,
week.
Yeah,
That's
they
what I was
did.
going to say.
Yeah, we can look back just
And
4 days ago.
They've honestly proved it the last 2 weeks, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
Limiting Centennial to 94 yards.
We're going to be in pain the next day just from watching this game. It's going to hurt. Like this is old school football at its finest.
Yeah.
That's the words right there, old school.
Who flinches first?
And it's funny that we mention a little bit about that because it goes right into one of our players of the week finalists, which would be Eric Hazard from Page. He joins 4 others as far as our finalists go for that honor this week. And we'll start with Dallas Caffrey from East Robertson, 14 tackles and had a 35-yard fumble return for a touchdown in that win at York Institute. His teammate Isaiah Groves, 224 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns on 30 carries. Hazard, that Page defense, 7 tackles, 3 tackles for a loss, 2 sacks, including that he won when the dying seconds to force a field goal attempt that ultimately Southwind missed in that 10-7 victory. Oakland's DeJuan Morris, 171 yards, 3 touchdowns on 31 carries, caught 2 passes for 64 yards at Bradley Central in their 38-17 win. And then Zion Simpson-Smith, 138 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns for Pearl Cone in their 48-20 win over Haywood in the 4A semifinals. I went with Eric Hazard, and I just mentioned why. I mean, he was active in the backfield all night for Page against Southwind, and that pass rush was the reason they won that game, in my opinion. And I'm going to take the mastermind of that defense right now as a result. Scott went with Zion Simpson-Smith.
And it being there at that game, early on, he was the offense. He broke it open. 4 touchdowns on the night. Unfortunately, I don't have all his defensive totals, but I do know that he forced a big fumble, early in the game. This kid is just incredible on both sides of the ball.
Joe went with Eric Hazard as well.
Yeah, I mean, I went with the guy I saw and just completely took over the game in a must-win situation. When that fumble happened, man, my heart sunk. When when you see Southwind streaking down the sideline, you're like,
Yep.
Oh, you're gonna lose the game this way. And then Hazard comes up with that sack at the end and forces a rushed field goal that had absolutely no shot in any universe. Yeah, Hazard was the easy choice.
Cam agreed with you.
Yeah, ditto. And this is not only I didn't vote for him just because of the last week. I mean, he's been doing it all year. He's been on our list so many times. He's yet to win it. He deserves one of these. And as Coach Rathbone said, and as you can read in one of our articles on 615preps.com, shout out Joe. If this was a whole year award, he's Mr. Football. There's no question asked.
Yep. KJ, same way.
I mean, yeah, he's a disruptor. He gets in the backfield. He makes defense or offensive really have to game plan around him. No one has gotten pressure on that Southwind quarterback all year, and for him to sack him to essentially seal the game for Page, it was impressive to me.
Fans seem to agree with you guys. They all voted for Eric Hazard, 48.68% of the fans taking the Page Jr. as their vote for player of the week. And so it's almost unanimous, but it might as well be.
I'm not mad
at it. Congratulations to Page's Eric Hazard. He is our Miracle Auto Group player of the week. And I got some hardware to swing by there probably tomorrow actually, and on my way to Chattanooga, and I'll drop that off, and we'll get a nice picture with Mr. Hazard as well. But we're not done. Line of the week is up next, also sponsored by Miracle Auto Group, and Page's defense is one of those 3 finalists, along with Oakland's offense and East Robertson's offense. We'll start with the Indians' offense, 262 rushing yards, 343 total in that win at York Institute. Oakland's offense ran for 254, had 358 total. They were 7 of 12 on third down and 2 of 2 on fourth down at Bradley Central. Good performance for the Patriot defense there. Page's defense, as we mentioned, held Southwind to 7 points and 168 yards of offense, which also included -3 yards rushing, 5 sacks, 7 tackles for a loss. So the fans have spoken, and the Page defense takes it down 49, nearly half of the votes going in for the Page defense. So it's a sweep for Page. As far as our players of the week are concerned, Eric Hazard's getting player of the week, and the Page defense gets line of the week.
As it should be.
So congratulations to those of y'all in Rudderville. I've got the goods. I'm bringing them by. I'll bring them by tomorrow, and y'all can enjoy those. So congratulations to the winners, and we need to hear from our fine sponsors at Miracle Auto Group.
Hi everyone, Jim Galvin, Miracle Ford, your Ford dealer in Gallatin, Tennessee since 1980. Great news, beginning now. When you need service, we can come to you.
Our mobile service van comes to you wherever you are. Whether you need oil change, lube, routine maintenance, warranty, filters, wiper blades, batteries, bulbs, recalls, and more. Visit our website
Or call us now.
Are you ready for a miracle?
Stop dreaming and start driving.
Get 20% off MSRP when you buy a new 23 Jeep Grand Cherokee or Jeep Grand Cherokee L at Miracle Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Gallatin. $15,401 in total savings. And get powertrain warranty for as long as you own your vehicle and VIP benefits. Black Friday sales event all month at Miracle.
Are you ready for a miracle?
Well, we've gotten through Thursday and Friday's games as far as the ones we're covering. Let's go ahead and jump into Saturday's action with 11 a.m. Eastern kickoff with Upperman and Pearl Cone. Upperman's there for the first time. Pearl Cone's back there for the second straight year. And the Firebirds, as we've talked about all year, are on a mission.
Mm-hmm. Understatement. I mean, the Firebirds have been rolling. After that week 2 win against CPA, it really opened my eyes. Like, this is the most complete team, and I feel like we say it every week. Coach Brunetti said it last week that they still haven't played their best game, and that's scary going for Upperman.
They held a little bit back last week. Javion Kennard was a little bit beat up. They're just now getting Malachi Cromwell back from his shoulder injury. They haven't really been fully healthy. I think that this week they'll be a little bit healthier. I don't think Brunetti holds back. I think he pulls out all the stops. I think that this is a Pearl Cone team of destiny. Now, would Upperman like to disrupt that destiny? Absolutely. Can they? Absolutely. Pearl has to play a clean game. They cannot play undisciplined. They certainly can't have penalties like they've had in the past. If they play within themselves, if they don't give up like they did last week and had 2 touchdowns taken off the board, they should be okay here. But this Upperman defense has proven to be resilient. They've proven to be very, very tough. And Bronson Chaffin is one heck of a quarterback.
Yeah. This one won't be close. No disrespect to Upperman, but Pearl is different. Last week they played a team in Haywood that probably would be the most comparable to them in terms of speed. I was actually talking to one of my good friends who's a very big Haywood fan, and we were messaging. He said Pearl's different. He said speed-wise, they're different. He said 7. He asked me if Zion had been playing running back all year. I said, yeah, he does that. They got that 3-headed monster in the backfield now, and they're all healthy. You got Dearius Reed, Nobody's talking about Dearius Reed. Dearius Reed showed out in the state championship game last year. I think he's saving his best for last. Upperman doesn't have the speed to match this. Physically, they could, but Pearl's that perfect blend of speed and power that you don't see very often, and it could be a long morning on Saturday.
Cam, you're muted.
I said it on a actual message board for them that I feel like Upperman has to play as close to perfect as they have all year to have a shot at this thing, and what that entails is the same formula that they've actually been able to execute the last 2 weeks, and that is run, 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 run the clock, run some more, and finish the drive, and that's ultimately what they've been able to do. One thing that I will like to take a moment to say is all of us at 615 Preps have and will continue to pray for the Upperman community after the tragic accident that happened after the semifinal matchup against Greenville. We wish the family and that community well, and hope that the kids can come out focused on playing in the state championship game and put their best effort forward.
Yep, very well said there, Cam. I appreciate you pointing that out as well. I've said this in talking with these guys the last couple of days. This is a Ferrari against an F-150. And the only way the F-150 wins is to beat them at the line. Because if the Ferrari gets going, they're gone. That's Pearl Cone speed. I mean, you get any Pearl Cone player in the open field, they're going to be hard to take down. And Upperman's a gritty team with a very good defense that's going to see a challenge like it's not seen all year long. And Scott's right. Pearl Cone has to play a clean game. They can't have the penalty problems that they've had during the year. But Tony Brunetti said something that I think is pretty distinctive. They've not played their best game yet, and that's a scary proposition for anybody in their way. If they play their best game on Saturday, look out. This could be over in a hurry.
The team that's mad about last year, I feel. They should have won that game.
The look in some of those players' faces last year after the disappointment that they had in losing to Anderson County, I said they'd be back here, and they'd be back here angry. And here they are. They've said it all year long. They've believed it, and they've been about it all year long. And I don't think there's a team in 4A that has been able to even come close to stopping them. And I'm not sure it's going to happen Saturday either. So it's going to be interesting to see how this thing turns out.
It's one thing to go up against the Incredible Hulk. It's another one to go up against the Incredible Hulk when he's really kicked off.
Mm-hmm. Yep, for sure. Let's get to that afternoon game on Saturday. East Robertson at Riverside. The Indians, into the BlueCross Bowl for the first time ever, and Cross Plains is not going to have anybody in it because I imagine the entire town's going down to Chattanooga for that 3 p.m. Eastern kickoff. Got hairy at the end there against York, though, because Cam, as you mentioned, it seemed like they pulled the starters a little too quick.
Yeah, they were up 35-7 with about 8 minutes to go, and York was able to score, get the onside kick, score, get the onside kick, score, get the onside kick, score. I know that is a lot happening there in 8 minutes, and it was. And then some unfortunate stuff happened at the end that I felt like could have been controlled from the early on set of that game. I feel like that that game was not very well managed by the guys in white and black, if you know what I'm saying. But that's beside the point now. East Robertson was able to hold on, and I thought that they did well from the discipline and the penalty standpoint until the fourth quarter, and then the wheels kind of fell off. But I feel like they were drugged there. This first time in a state championship game, and I'm not knocking Tyson is great. Tyson Walcott is great for Friendship Christian. Eli Wilson is great for Middle Tennessee Christian. This is the best running back matchup of the weekend.
Yep. And we mentioned some stuff that happened at the end, and Matt just asked, will East Robertson have anyone suspended? And I believe there was one that was ejected, correct?
Yes, there was one. I do know that they were appealing. I do not know the result of that appeal, so we will not say that he is for sure suspended or not.
All right.
Yeah, this is the game that, and this is the team that Chase Brooks was hoping to have, and I think last week they played very well for 40 minutes, and then as Cam said, they ran into some difficulty. I believe that Isaiah Groves is one of the best, if not the best, running back in the Midstate. And I look for him to show out. This team has really discovered other facets to their game as the season's progressed. They are not just to run the ball with Isaiah, up the middle the whole time. This team is actually playing more and more like a complete team, offensive and defensively, and they are peaking at just the right time.
Yeah, I mean, East Robertson has been doing what they do all year, getting it done multiple ways. The one thing that I feel like will be the difference maker is if they could keep their composure in the big game. Last week at York was definitely playing, a little dirty, as I should say, and I feel like they got East Robertson off track a little bit, and they just have to be able to keep their composure in a big game like that.
Yeah, you go talent for talent. East Robertson is probably much more talented than Riverside. You want to talk about fan turnout? Decatur will be at this one. Cross Plains will be at this one. This is going to be a highly attended game. It'll be one of the, in my opinion, it might be second only to the battle of the border schools. And then it's going to be fun. Cam mentioned the Desmond Thomas, Isaiah Groves matchup. I think Zach Groves versus Desmond Thomas is the big one here. If he can shut down Desmond, make Riverside one dimensional, make Stone Wallace do some stuff through the air, and they can contain him. East is going to be in a really good position here, where I don't know if Riverside has enough to shut down all the weapons that East Robertson has.
Well, we answer all the important questions here on this show, and KJ, I know we got to know what flavor tart you got up there.
I got s'mores and I got brown cinnamon sugar. Just living the college life.
Good.
The question is, microwave or no microwave?
No microwave.
Are you kidding me? On
Good
s'mores
man.
Pop-Tarts?
Good man.
Missing out, man.
If you toast, if I have my toaster
with butter.
That's the same thing to me.
Toaster with butter.
No, it's not. It's
not. The brown cinnamon sugar without the toaster is just the best.
Matt says no microwave, it's toaster. Yeah, totally agree.
Oh, thank you.
Although like with the strawberry ones, the frosted strawberry, keep them out. Just
no, it's got to be the s'mores or the chocolate fudge. That's the only two that get warmed up.
That's fair.
In any way or fashion.
All right. On to that battle at 6A with Oakland and Houston, battle of 2 12-2 teams. Oakland going for the 4-peat. Houston trying to spoil it. Let's talk about it, Joe.
Go ahead, Joe.
Last week, the result that I think shocked us all was how bad Houston beat Brentwood. 28-0. They shut them down. Will they be able to do that against Oakland? Probably not. They haven't faced a running back like DeJuan Morris yet. I think Houston may have peaked last week. They can use that as motivation all they want. Whatever. I don't care. You haven't played a team like Oakland. Oakland's been on an absolute mission since losing to Riverdale week 11. Oakland's peaking at the right time. They got a ton of weapons. I think Oakland marches on to its 4th straight title and into the favorite next year for a 5-peat, because they're going to be really good next year too.
Yeah, you go from one future SEC running back to another. And DeJuan Morris is the real deal, ladies and gentlemen. Just like Eric Hazard, Michigan football being a regular season award may cost him that award this year. But what he's been able to do in this postseason has been remarkable, and a postseason that will go down in remembrance of, I know at least some of us sports reporters, as one of the most dominant in recent history.
Yeah, Oakland's been here before. They beat Beats last year. Hard for me to say. They beat Summit the year before. So Oakland knows what it takes to win. And like Joe said, they've been ticked off and on a mission since losing to Riverdale week 11. They're just firing on all cylinders, and I think it's going to be hard for Houston to keep up with them, but we never know.
Yeah, don't mess with a pissed off Patriot. I mean, the very worst thing that could have happened to everybody in 6A is what happened with Riverdale. It reminded Oakland that they actually have to get out there and play well. That they have a very large target on their backs. Everybody wants to knock off Oakland. Well, Oakland's feeling it now, and they had to deal with all the barbs and all the jabs and all that stuff. But let me tell you, Corey Smith remembers, and he's going to be a factor in this game. The middle linebacker there is going to be a factor in this game. And another person that we haven't mentioned that's going to be a factor is Ashton Jones. You can't just focus on DeJuan Morris, or Ashton Jones will get you.
Yeah, a name to also keep an eye on. Correct that. And as Joe mentioned, he's a sophomore.
Yeah, and we go back to that first Riverdale game. He made one of the best interceptions I've seen this year. An acrobat jumping tip to himself interception that most sophomores aren't going to make. So
why I think Oakland is obviously the heavy favorite in this game. There are a couple. I mean, obviously Houston's making their first ever championship appearance, whereas Oakland's done this year in and year out. How Oakland responded to Bradley Central last week. They were dominating that game. Bradley came back and tied it. And then what's Oakland do? They rattle off 21 straight. They put them away in a game where the best player, arguably on the field, that a lot of people thought was on the opposite side. It wasn't. DeJuan Morris was the best player on the field Friday night, and he's going to be the best player on the field Saturday night. And I think that's a big reason why they're going to roll.
Yeah, and I'm not exactly sure, but that game, somewhere around 35 total all-purpose yards or something like that is what they held Boo Carter to.
Yep.
So just a dominating performance. I know they gave up 17 points, but this Patriot defense has been unbelievable in the postseason.
All right. Well, we've gone through the 7 that we're going to have area teams in, so we got to make some picks. But sit tight. We need to take a break real quick. We're back in 100 seconds to make those picks. it is that time, one more time this year, to make our best guesses as to who we think is going to win and by how much. It's time for Who You Got. The way this group is kind of taken to the picks this year, we've kind of not worried about too much about the show picks as far as the overall standings are concerned. But here's our list for the top 10 or so games we do every week. Joe's 2 games ahead of Scott in that race. So Scott's going to try to maybe work from behind and see if he can't steal one here. But we're worried about this one.
Joe's leading, so we don't care about this one, he says.
Well, I didn't have it ready, but we've got a championship belt for the winner of this particular competition. It's the one that you're talking about. So, hey.
Man, that 11-1 mark last week looks really good.
Yeah. So 3 of us within 2 games of each other. Cam's putting the belt on him right now. Joe, what are you going to say about that?
I didn't even see it. I don't pay attention to losers.
Well, right. Let's recap last week's picks real quickly before we get to the stuff for this week. Those of us who were undressed didn't like life too much, and KJ took a shot with Fairleigh. That didn't work. Offerman knocked off Greenville, which spoiled more than half of us. But the rest of this page looks pretty good. Second page, it was all about Houston over Brentwood, and then Reggie tried to get Southwind past Page. Tough luck.
Yeah, he almost did it. He
almost did it. Yeah.
He was a cut away from it almost happening.
Yeah.
God.
But speaking of Reggie, because we've got 9 picks this week, we gave him a chance to pick every game, and the next 2 minutes or so are all about him. So enjoy.
Reggie, you know what time it is. It's time to pick. He has chosen. And he's chosen the Cougars from MTCS.
Has he chosen? Yes. He's chosen the Lions of Christ Presbyterian Academy. All right, Reg. All right, Reggie. What's it going to be? Baylor, South Pitt, and McKenzie. And he has taken the Rebels. And he's made his pick. He has chosen the Indians of East Robertson High School. Pretty decisive, Reg. Reggie's looking. And he has taken the East Nashville Eagles. Reggie is making his decision, and he has made it. And he has chosen the Firebirds of Pearl Cone, Page High School, and Knoxville West. Reggie has made his decision, and he has chosen the Page Patriots. And he's looking, and he has selected the Oakland Patriots.
So there's the best of Reggie for this week.
So I will say the only thing that I started rolling. Did anyone else notice the SpongeBob pirate? The South Pit logo was the SpongeBob pirate.
I did not notice that.
I didn't even see.
I started rolling. Just wanted to point that out.
I think he went with all the cats except for one.
Yeah, he didn't go Riverside.
He didn't go Riverside.
He did, however, go with CPA, so we'll start there. We all
That-
went with CPA.
That was a compilation. It took quite a while. He got kind of full.
Yeah, it's probably a good thing you only do that once a year.
Yeah.
That was his Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving, Christmas.
We
all rolled
are
into one.
taking sponsors. Sponsor Reggie's pick.
There you go.
Temptations.
Temptation.
Now you're back on the good list, Reggie. You can hang with Joe's cat. Well,
I don't think he can hang with Joe's cat here shortly.
My cat would be a bad influence on him. He's a problem child.
75.7% of the fans on CPA. The rest of us also on the Lions. And Scott, you've got a 7-point spread, but everybody else is multiple scores.
Being kind. Hedging my bets that this is a little bit closer with Boyd, but I honestly believe that CPA, has full control of this game. Like I said, if Boyd can keep it close, they've got a chance. But if CPA gets out in front, I think it's lights out.
CPA's had the luxury of playing. I know their record wasn't great, but Brentwood Academy, Pearl Cone, FRA twice. They've played Davidson Academy. They've played NBA. They've played a brutal schedule, and they've gone through all that with one 4-point loss. CPA is the better team here. They're sick and tired of silver. They're going to get gold this year.
Yeah, I think I would hope most of us, probably December the 1st last year, we said CPA is going to be the best team in D2AA next year. And they pretty much have been all year. So I like the Lions to finish it off.
Yep. Middle Tennessee Christian, Friendship Christian. Folks, I'm just going to go ahead and say it now. It's kitchen sink week. I'm 2 down in the standings. I got to win. I can't tie them. So my picks this week are purely strategic. So apologies in advance.
This game is such a pick-em game.
Yeah.
In all honesty, I'm looking at it from it's just so hard to beat a team twice in the same year. Yeah. Because these teams match up so well with each other. And, would it shock me to see Middle Tennessee Christian win? Absolutely not. I'm just going to go with Friendship because they've been there.
You said it. Experience. That's why I went Friendship as well. Experience, and then, the first team to score 20 probably wins. I think that while the ball will be going up and down the field, both defenses kind of this year have been bend but don't break. Goodness.
Yeah.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, not really. But
English is hard.
Yeah, it's definitely my worst subject. Middle Tennessee Christian, first time being here. Most of the time when that happens, teams come out a little wide-eyed early on, and I look for Friendship maybe to get up, and Middle Tennessee Christian to have to play from behind, and they're not used to doing that this year.
Yeah, beating a team twice is hard. I think you got 2 of the best players in D2A going at it this time. Give me the team with a little bit more experience with the head coach that's won multiple state titles here. Friendship Christian and a nail biter.
Like I said, purely strategic because we sat down last night and mapped out our picks all as a group. When those took Friendship Christian, I had to go the other way. So,
and I will throw a spoiler out there too while we're on this game. The winner of this game, their head coach may just be the leader in the house for Coach of the Year.
Could be. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be one of the better games of the weekend. And for me, it comes down to really a special teams play could decide it.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever makes one or has a bad one, that could be the way it goes. Just these 2 teams are so darn close. It's honestly probably the best matchup we could have gotten in a championship game as far as how close the teams are.
This one will be worth the price of admission.
Yep. Yeah, it is the afternoon game on Thursday too, so should be decent weather down there in Chattanooga for it as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then the nightcap, McCallie and Baylor, and this probably has a massive crowd in attendance for it. I've heard at least 12,000 tickets for Thursday have already been sold, and that's that's for all 3 games. So could be a pretty good crowd there even during the day. But the nightcap's what we're all looking at. Another rematch.
Yeah, it's going to be a heck of a ball game. Talk about pure talent on the field. This is going to be the best one, just loaded with D1 talent. The way Baylor lost the first meeting between these two, they're going to be angry. So give me Amari Jefferson making scoring a touchdown late in this best game of the weekend, in my opinion.
Yep, I agree. Amari Jefferson wins Offensive Player of the Game, and the Red Raiders go back to back.
Yeah, same thing here. Hard to beat a team twice in the same year, and Amari Jefferson is just special.
Yep. Yeah, you're probably right, but they picked Baylor, so I can't.
At least you're honest.
Yeah,
I want the damn belt. That's what I'm.
Hey,
that's
and I will shout out Coach Clark Lee and the Vanderbilt Commodores. He's got both quarterbacks in this matchup. So
for now,
yeah,
for now.
Key words for now. Yeah.
Yeah, Chris. Part of me is like, yeah, but isn't that a little bit of a cop out? Because you can always say if you missed it, got it wrong.
No.
Well, we won't.
I really don't care what my record is this week, as long as if it ain't first, I might as well be last.
The cop out would have been
Ricky
me
Bobby.
just picking everything the same as Joe the last 2 weeks and winning because I picked the same as him.
I'm taking my shots. I don't know about y'all, but
I feel you.
I changed this pick. Sorry, guys. I'm going with East Nashville. I don't know why. I just have a feeling.
Well, and this is the one where he goes and loses it. Alcoa is Alcoa. Till somebody beats them. I love East Nashville. I love that team. I think they're a lot of fun. If they were playing anybody but Alcoa for the 3A title, they'd win it. They should be playing somebody other than Alcoa for the 3A title.
Should be playing Gatlinburg Pittman.
But they're not. And Alcoa is the best team in 3A and should be playing in 4 or 5A.
Could you imagine an Alcoa Pearl-Cohn state championship game this year?
That would be fun.
It would be.
Yeah, but one school,
Yeah.
one of those schools doesn't want to give the fans what we want. So,
yeah, it's no longer impressive anymore. It's not. It's just sad, honestly. And I'm sick of it. I really am.
Yeah.
I get it, but I mean, what aside from the, proving something to yourself, are you doing your community a service by moving up? I don't know. I'm not one to judge, but
just on this game real quick, I know you hate to hear this, and you definitely hate to hear it in a state championship game. I think East Nashville may be a year away. Maybe 2 years.
Yep.
Yeah. They have a lot of sophomores playing, so I could definitely see that.
Yeah. Which means they're in good position for, a year or two.
Don't get me wrong. I would love to see David knock Goliath off the throne here. Absolutely would love to see it. But they're going to have the stars align, rabbit's feet, and I'm afraid basically had to play a perfect game to do it. Can they do it? Absolutely they can. I have every belief that East Nashville can. It's just very, very difficult, and until I see it, I'm going to have to go with Alcoa.
No, like I said, you guys know my feeling on this. I really don't care this week. Because you know what? It's kitchen sink week.
There you go.
There you go.
I gotta throw everything at it.
We need a button.
South Pitt and McKenzie. Scott's going with McKenzie along with Reggie, but the rest of us are in South Pitt.
Where's that button, Chris? Yes, kitchen sink week. No, I mean McKenzie. I feel like South Pitt has been really good, but McKenzie, I just feel like they have a really good shot here, and to get back and win this thing. I think it'll be close, but I actually believe McKenzie can win this game if they play their game.
Yeah, South Pitt, just a different beast though, and if history. I'm a big fan of history, as you know, Scott. You and I have talked about history several times. I think history repeats itself yet again. South Pitt has never lost to McKenzie in the title game. They probably should have 2 years ago. McKenzie had that game won and blew it. This McKenzie team is not as good as the one they've had the last couple of years. South Pitt this is the best South Pitt team they've had in a couple of years. So give me the Pirates and their SpongeBob logo.
Yeah, I agree. One thing that could swing this game, definitely make it a more competitive game, is if South Pitt's quarterback Camden Wellington is out. Went down early in that semifinal game with an ankle injury. If he's out, this game could be a nail biter. It could be a really good game. And but if he's able to go, I look for South Pitt just to kind of out athlete McKenzie.
Nicole, we got to talk.
She's not wrong.
First off, this hasn't happened, and no, I'm not trying to set a new record because I'm going to get a couple of them right.
No, you won't.
Now, let me ask.
Joe, shut up.
Let me ask you a question. If Moore County was in this game instead of McKenzie, I bet you Moore would have been picking Moore County. More of you guys.
I had South Pitt.
At least.
I would have picked South Pitt.
I would have still picked South Pitt.
Yep. No.
Yep.
I believe. To your point, though, Scott. To your point, instead of it being 78% picking South Pitt, it would have probably been like 65. But
yeah,
maybe.
And McKenzie's the one who knocked them off. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Moore County. You're right in thinking that. I mean, Moore County has something that McKenzie doesn't, and that's Dawson White, a Mr. Football candidate. But
McKenzie has a quarterback that should have been Mr. Football candidate. That's all I'm going to say.
Yep.
South Pitt's got more than one guy, and that's why they're the favorite.
South Pitt's got two guys that should have been Mr. Football candidates. But it is what it is.
Yep.
South Pitt's just loaded.
Yep.
We got to take one more break for a couple more ads. Kitchen Sink Week continues right after this.
Join thousands who bought their miracle from Miracle Ford in Gallatin. People like Allie and Daniel of White Bluff, Darian of Gallatin, Nicole of Hendersonville, Elizabeth of White House. People like Janet and Steve of Hendersonville, Oscar of Gallatin, Susan of Portland, Nick of Castellian Springs.
Stop dreaming and start driving.
Plus pickup and delivery service available for all of your service needs.
Are you ready for a miracle?
Stop dreaming and start driving.
Lease a new 2023 Ram 1500 Bighorn for $585 per month for 42 months. $0 security deposit. $0 at lease inception at Miracle Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Gallatin. And get powertrain warranty for as long as you own your vehicle and VIP benefits. Black Friday sales event all month at Miracle.
Are you ready for a miracle?
All right, 5A time.
Yeah, hate me. Bring it on.
I also put this pick not too long ago.
Bring it on. I told Eric Hazard on Friday night I'm picking against him. Is it strategic? Yes, absolutely. This is the one that's going to decide it for me and Cam. Spoiler alert. Until you knock off the king, I can't pick against them. I think this Knox West team, they've had a couple close calls this year. But what worried me about Friday night was Page's offense. Did not see enough from them to make me feel comfortable picking them against a really. This is going to be the best defense Page has faced all year. It's going to be the best defense. The Alcoa defense is nasty.
Yes,
it'll be one of the best defenses West has faced all year. But first to 20 wins. This is your strategic play. I hope I'm wrong about that. No, I don't know. I can't say that, can I? If I'm if I'm wrong about this game, I'm not going to be heartbroken. I think Page's year is next year when all those guys are seniors. I'm not going to pick against Page once next year. Mark my words.
We're going to hold you to that. November 28th, 8:05 p.m. Central Time. Joe says he is not picking against Page again next year.
Yep.
Got it.
It'll
Okay.
happen.
All right.
Guess what,
All right.
Joe?
What?
Not only is Page going to win this game, but Eric Hazard is going to present me with the championship on the field after the game, and you're going to have to watch it.
You ain't getting nothing.
Look, this is going to be a battle. I mean, this is going to get bloody. Both these teams defensively are very, very good. I just think that Page last week they played a team that was just totally the antithesis of everything that they've played, and they held that Southwind offense to 7 points. 7. That high-powered offense they held. I think Page, is that good that their defense. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me to see Eric Hazard, William Wybush, put up 3 touchdowns defensively. That defense can do wonders, and they are motivated, and that's the thing. They are incredibly motivated this year to get revenge from last year. I think that makes them a very dangerous team.
Revenge.
Scott,
Yeah, it's gonna be-
Scott, when you said bloody, all I could think about was that scene in the Patriot, the battlefield scene where you get that cannonball bouncing through and taking somebody's head
God.
off.
Yes, I know that scene well.
Thanks for putting that image in our head, Chris.
Hey,
Yeah, this is going to be frustrating.
deserve
This is going to be frustrating for the couple Lions fans in here, but somebody call State Farm because I'm bringing back the discount double check.
Oh, brother.
Oh, geez.
This guy stinks.
Stinks. No,
my
but
we don't have any
gosh.
fun on this show. We don't.
like we've talked about with this Page defense, they get after it, and I think they finally get a chance. Like Scott said, they definitely could put up some points on the defensive side of the ball to kind of help make up for the offense. With their struggles. I think the offense will be able to score, but how many times will they be able to score is really the factor in this game.
All right, let's go to 4A on Saturday. We're all in agreement on Procon and not particularly close.
I was
Joe?
generous here. I was generous here. I think Procon. I think they roll. I mean, I just don't know if Upperman can keep up with the speed. I think physicality, Pearl's going to be unlike anything they've played. I know Upperman is a brand of football that's physical, but Pearl is just different. When you combine that speed and strength, it's nothing like Upperman's face this year. I think Upperman's time is coming. I think the next 2 years, they're going to be hands down the favorite to win 4A, I think, with everything they got coming back. This is Pearl's time. It's been Pearl's time since the clock hit 0 last year in December.
I tend to agree with you, Joe. I think this game has potential to get ugly. And one thing we don't talk enough about Procon is their defensive line. They have size. They do a tremendous job shutting down the run. Zion Simpson-Smith can play from sideline to sideline. They've got speed on the defense. They've got size on the defense. And I don't know if Upperman has seen a defense quite like Pearl. And with the struggles that Upperman has had offensively in the past this year, I think that is a trouble spot for them. I think Pearl has enough weapons on offense to get by Upperman's defense. I don't think you can say the same for the Bees going up against Procon's defense.
I would agree to a certain extent. One thing that I think a couple of y'all are maybe overlooking, and having Pearl score this many points. They're definitely capable of scoring that many points. But if Upperman executes the game plan, I don't believe Pearl will get the ball enough to score that many times. So that's the reason why I have it a little bit lower scoring. But at the end of the day, there's just too many weapons on that Pearl Cone offense. You saw Pearl struggle some with a station camp, that did exactly what Upperman's going to try to do. But Upperman is a little bit better than station camp. I will say that straight out of the gate. They are better than station camp. They will execute better than station camp did. They're playing for a state championship. So if this is a 2010 game at halftime like it was in the quarterfinals, anything can happen.
That's a good point. Yeah, I can definitely see where you're going with that.
Still put 40 on station camp.
Yeah, it doesn't take them much. I go back to last year's championship game, and Pearl Cone scored twice in 90 seconds to start the game.
Javion Kennard. Is mad.
Here's the thing. It's not just Javion Kennard. It's Zion Simpson-Smith and Malachi Cromwell. You're going to get fresh legs every time you put one of those three kids on the field to run the football. You're getting 40-plus carries of max effort. Upperman's never seen that. They're not going to see anything like that.
Yep.
And they're not going to be able to stop it.
Yep. I mean, if we're being honest, and I said this on the message board for them, Upperman may be the third or the fourth best team Pearl's played this year.
Yep.
Pearl is definitely the best team that Upperman has played this year.
Yep.
Yeah.
What do you think the percentage is that play one is a deep shot to Darius Reed?
Wouldn't shock me at all.
Wouldn't shock me at all.
It would not. It wouldn't also shock me if Pearl ran a draw up the middle and showed them just how physical they are.
Mm-hmm.
Or reverse to Javion for a touchdown.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. They can do it in so many different ways.
Yeah.
Or they may just house the kickoff.
Yeah. I mean, Upperman can execute the game plan, but if they don't match Pearl score for score, this is going to get out of hand.
Yep.
I mean, it only takes 2 possessions for you to get behind where you have to abandon your game plan for them.
You said it, Chris. If Upperman gets down by 14 or more, it's over. They won't be able to play and catch up against this Pearl Cone team. I'll be honest with you, I don't know if there's a team in the state that can play catch up with this Pearl Cone team.
I don't think so.
I've said it all. I've said it all year. If Pearl puts together their best game, there's not a team in the state that can play with them.
Yeah. Upperman simply, for me, needs to survive the first 5 minutes.
Yep.
If they can do that, then, we might have ourselves a game in our hands. But if they get down 14-0 in the first 5 minutes, no. Batten down the hatches.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, if Upperman can get out in front and put Pearl off their game, get them making mistakes,
that would be a perfect
absolutely.
Start.
That's exactly what the Bees have to do.
Yeah, the idea that what Upperman's going to do, just to give people an idea. 2 weeks ago against Macon County, they go on a 20-play, 10-minute, 56-second drive. Last week, their second touchdown drive against Greenville was 9 minutes and 17 seconds. So if they start the game with the ball and they go 10 minutes and score, this is going to be a dogfight.
Yeah. Let's go to 2A, East Robertson, Riverside. I know. I'm the lone wolf here. You know why.
Yeah, that's fine.
Hit the button, Chris. Hit the button.
It's kitchen sink wink.
So I'm going to say this. I think this could be the second best game of the weekend, maybe 3. I'm going to just, because, we see comments and everything. I'm going to put it out there like this. I don't care. I do not care that Riverside lost to Collierville week 1 by 21. I don't care. That's week 1. Who cares? It's a new season. Of course they're going to play them close. Riverside's a good team. I don't care that they beat Trenton Peabody twice this year. That's not the Trenton Peabody team that won state a couple of years ago. I don't care. I'm going to pick the East Roberts. I don't care that East Robertson lost to Tyner last year and Tyner only beat Riverside by 2. I don't care. East Robertson is who I'm picking here. I just think they're more talented. I think Riverside. I think it's going to be a great game. I'm all about East Robertson this week. I'm all about East Robertson because of what they did against Smith County 2 weeks ago. I think Smith County's built a lot like Riverside. I think they have a really good running back. I think they got a nasty defense, and we saw what East Robertson did to them last week or 2 weeks ago. We saw what East Robertson should have done to York last week, but they got in their own way. I don't think Chase Brooks is going to let that happen again this week. Simple as that. I think East Robertson is primed for this. I know Riverside's a good team. I love Johnny Frost. He's a great coach out in West Tennessee. Give me Isaiah Groves every single day of the week. Give me Elijah Groves every single day of the week. Give me Zach Groves every single day of the week. East Robertson wins this game.
Yeah.
I just wanted to watch him go.
Yeah, I was going to say, wind him up, let him go.
I just think comparing teams that they're not going to play, I think that's just dumb. I don't care that Riverside beat Huntington. Good for them. That's a great win.
Here's the one that gets you, Joe. East Robertson only beat Westmoreland by 1 point. Who cares?
Football's football. Things happen. It's simple as that.
Nicole, I'm going to answer your question right now. No. Here's the evidence. How could I? I'm trailing. If I pick the same as them, I lose. It is kitchen sink week. And I'm going to throw everything I've got at it. I don't care. I'm going to throw something to the wall and let it stick.
Yeah,
I think
it's
going to be I think this is going to be a great game. I do too. I could see it go either way. Simple as that.
I'll be honest with you. I called this the best running back matchup of the weekend, and I definitely feel that. We talk about him on the show, and I think he's a 3-star right now. He's more than likely going to end up a 4-star by the time he graduates. But Isaiah Groves is different. He is different. He gets overshadowed for being at a 2A school at East Robertson. Watch the game on Saturday. The ability to use his vision and cut on a dime without losing any speed. He is just different. And watching highlights of Riverside's game last year with Tyner, that's some of the stuff that gave them issues. So I look for Isaiah to have a big game. And if Elijah continues playing with the intensity and the sense of urgency that he has the last couple of weeks, I think, as you said, Joe, that Desmond Thomas versus Zach Groves and Elijah Groves could be fun.
Yeah.
See, I told you I wasn't wrong. Cross 23 scheduled their Christmas parade meeting Chattanooga.
Look, I have been on the East Robertson train all year and deviated once, and that was against Smith County. And boy, do I regret it. They have been so fun to watch. Ever since the Jamboree, it's been a great team to watch. But to see the maturity in the offensive line, to see the offense that has gone from very one-dimensional offense to a full, they have a passing game that they've shown off that they never really had at the beginning of the year. Their defense, it's not just Elijah Groves. Cade Brooks has really been coming on and making plays. This team has grown from week 1 to where they are now. I think knowing that and seeing how that culminated in the win against Smith County and for 3 quarters last week, I think this team has the ability to win this thing. The only thing that can really stop them in this game, in my opinion, is them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if East Robertson loses this game, it's not, and this is no disrespect to Riverside, I don't think it's because Riverside beats them. I think it's because East Robertson beat itself. They did that against Smith County in that first matchup, and they almost did against Westmoreland, and they almost did it last week.
Yep. 2 guys I want to mention for East Robertson, just because the recruits kind of overshadow some of these guys. But Caleb McNeil, wears number 11 for East Robertson. and Dallas Caffrey. Both linebackers there on that East Robertson defense. They got to have huge games against Desmond Thomas and against Stone Wallace. They have to be able to slow down that Riverside rushing attack. I think East Robertson's good enough in the secondary. Riverside may be able to pass the ball a little bit, but I look for East Robertson to be able to shut that down. They have to stop Desmond Thomas to win this game, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Fun fact is, Cade Brooks was actually a ball boy for me my senior year. So being able to watch him grow as a player, it's actually really it's inspiring, or not inspiring, but it's like a good, nice sentimental feeling, because you see kids grow up and they look up to you, and then now you're seeing them, and now he's getting the job done, and has been a key role to them getting to state. So I want to say congrats to Cade.
And sometimes the ones you watch turn out to be pretty doggone good sports analysts.
There you go.
Yeah.
To answer a question that was in the comment, I'm picking East Robertson against anybody that comes out of the West. Simple as that. I think they're different. I picked York originally to win state because of their defense. I'm picking East Robertson to win it because of their offense.
Yeah, and we talk about teams that are set up for the future. East Robertson's not going nowhere.
All right, let's get on to 6A, Oakland and Houston, and no disagreement here. We're all taking Oakland, and I think the last couple of weeks have been a big indication as to why.
Yeah, I had a moment of weakness yesterday when we were discussing this, and then I had a moment of clarity right after that because I remembered who I had picked, to win this whole thing in this at the beginning of the year. It was Oakland, and was I worried when Riverdale beat them? Oh, yes, I was, because they weren't playing well.
Yeah.
Did they write that right after the Riverdale loss? Absolutely. They really started playing their brand of ball. DeJuan Morris is running like crazy. They've got Ashton Jones as an offset back. You can't just stop one. You got Avery. You got Avery. Help me.
Hainsworth.
Thank you. That would be the easy name to remember. No, I remember the first name. Avery Hainsworth at running back. They have their own three-headed monster back there. I think that Houston had a great game against Brentwood. Really, surprised me how well they played defensively. But this Oakland team is just on a roll right now.
Yep. Yeah, there's an old saying that, it honestly was around when Kevin Creasy was at Trails County, but there you go, Joe. There's that reference. But you can even say it now for Oakland. And I'll just leave it at this. I can talk about Oakland all day long. Yes, they're a great football team, but the more things change, the more they stay the same.
Yep.
Oh, come on, Cam. That's not what you need to say.
They've been beaten. I can't use that one anymore.
Well, they haven't been beaten at this stage yet. And I think it's key here because you're facing a Houston team that has not been here yet. Crazy. It's kind of crazy to think that, because they had a couple of teams a couple of years ago that were really good. The Lincoln Parr kid or Parre kid that was there was a beast. I'm picking Oakland. I'm picking Oakland until they give me a reason not to pick Oakland, and they made me look stupid for pick. If I don't pick Riverside a couple of weeks ago, I'm winning right now. I'm just gonna say that. I regret it, and I'm gonna stick with Oakland until they give me a reason not to, and I'm gonna go out on a limb and say I ain't picking against Oakland next year either.
Joe, I'll give you a hint.
Don't do it.
Never pick against Kevin Creasy.
Well, I picked against him against Center Grove, and it worked out.
Reggie picked against him.
Pick against him again next year.
Reggie. There it is.
Yeah. I do think this could end up being a good game early on. Houston, a lot of offensive weapons. Their quarterback's playing really well. They got a really good running back. The cornerback wide receiver matchup is going to be really good with Craig Tutt and a couple of their guys. I just think Oakland's rushing attack is going to be nasty.
Yeah. The great thing is, though, guys, we get to watch all these in real time.
And I get peach cobbler on Friday.
Hey,
My gosh,
And everyone watching,
that truck better be there.
everyone watching gets to follow us on social media,
Yeah.
see all the highlights in real time, check in for the stories after the game, check in for the photos. We'll bring it to you all 9 games.
If you're not following us on Twitter and Instagram, our Instagrams where we're going to be posting a lot of highlights. Obviously, we'll have the full packages on YouTube, but if there's a big clip, you'll find it on there. We're growing that thing heavily right now, and it's where you're going to see a lot of our stuff: Instagram, Twitter, all that. So make sure you're following because this is the week to do it.
Hey, and if you're in Chattanooga, then stop by and say hello. We love.
We will be finding our way through the crowd.
Yeah, that's a good thing in Chattanooga. Yeah, you have to work your way through the crowd to get to the workroom, but no, we love interacting with you guys. We love listening to your ideas and your takes on things, just like what's going on over here in the comment section. You guys make this thing work, and we love bringing it to you. So if you're there, definitely say hi.
Joe, Matt's got you hooked up if you need it.
Instantly plays hero.
My favorite
Fighters.
person.
Yes.
Nicole, for full disclosure, I want East Robertson to win, but I want the belt more than that. Sorry.
Nicole, what he's trying to say is he wants East Robertson to win, but he wants to win more.
All right.
God, I can't wait. I can't wait for Cam to present me that belt. It's going to be so. We're going to be playing Bobby Roode's music in the background. It's going to be great.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I gotta spend 4 days with these guys.
You got to ride with us to Chattanooga tomorrow. That's the
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's
all
true.
of Middle Tennessee is a Page fan this week.
Yeah.
Hey,
you know what that means? If they're Page fans, they're not Joe's fans.
Well, let's go recap these real quick, just because we have to contractually do that. We've all got CPA over Boyd. Reggie and I are taking Middle Tennessee Christian on a limb there. The rest of them have Friendship. We're kind of splitting them among McCallie and Baylor. I've got McCallie. So do the fans. The rest of them have Baylor. Reggie and I are paired up again with East Nashville over Alcoa, and the rest of them are taking the Tornadoes. Scott and Reggie have Mackenzie over South Pitt. Everybody else has the Pirates, the SpongeBob Pirates. Yeah, I did that. Joe's taking Knox West over Page. The rest of us are on the Patriots. We've all got Pearl Cone over Upperman. I am rolling the dice with Riverside over East Robertson. The rest of them have the Indians, and we were all taking Oakland over Houston in the 6A championship game. And our picks for this year are complete.
I feel confident.
AJ, you okay?
Sorry,
it's a little misty in here.
Yeah.
Football's almost ending.
It's
Football's ending.
But hey, just because football's ending doesn't mean that we stop working, because spoiler alert, we got basketball coming in January.
I get to keep my job?
It's happening.
KJ, I say that every week.
Congratulations, KJ.
There you go.
No,
Thanks,
we we got there are dead months, and obviously we're primarily a football show, obviously, and we get girls flag football in the spring, but from that time from January to March, there's nothing going on. Simple as that. We don't want that to stop people from coming and checking out what we're doing. So we're branching out to basketball. I'm a Hoosier at heart, guys. I'm from Indiana. I grew up around high school basketball. As much as I love football, I love basketball in this state. I've been lucky enough to cover the state final several times now. This is a great basketball state, both boys and girls. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to post our highlights. It's going to start slow. Obviously, we got to get pictures. We got to get videos. We got to do all this stuff, but it's going to be a lot of fun. We're football, basketball now, guys. It's going to be a fun couple months. And You'll see Chris out at some basketball games. He and I were at Brentwood Academy for their season opener, and tell me what you thought about Tyler Tanner. Nasty. Nasty.
Yeah.
Best player in the state. Not even close. So
Yeah.
it's going to be fun. I'm really excited. I love shooting basketball games. I love being at basketball games. It's a fun environment, and this is just the start. We're going to keep it going.
Yeah.
This is a year-round operation, guys. This ain't just football.
If you
You have
can't
to
tell,
change
Joe,
the logo, Chris.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, we could. I didn't have a lot of time to do that.
We'll figure
I
it
didn't
out.
say to do it now.
If you can't tell, Joe's taking lead on this. It's something that I've also pushed for. So I guess I'll take number 2 on this. But as you said, there's dead periods, so to speak. We're super excited to get this thing started. We're not exactly sure what all it will entail and how much coverage we'll be able to do to start. We're excited to have more staff than we've ever had, which is a good thing. But going forward, one thing that we will need for sure is fans, coaches help us with stats, that sort of thing. So if you want your guys recognized, we have to get that information. So any of that can be emailed over to us, and that would be greatly appreciated. And look forward to seeing you guys out at games. And I look forward to covering the state tourney for the first time in the Glass House.
Yeah,
it's fun.
I've covered several there, and it's a hectic weekend, especially now that they're going to be doing 8 games a day this year. That's going to be a long day for some people. But
we'll figure out the logistics of all that.
We don't know what all it's going to look like just yet, but that is coming in January after we spend some time with our families over the holidays. So,
Joe, as a native Kentuckian, I have to ask, what is a Hoosier?
We don't know. It's a thing that exists, and it makes us different. I'm not for what it's worth. I'm not an IU fan at all. I'm wearing the team I represent. We're a football school. But
I get it.
No, let me just tell you guys, Indiana high school basketball is unlike anything I've ever covered. You go to high school gyms and there's 9,000 and some 8,000. Basketball is a big deal out there. I'm very happy to see basketball being a big deal down here. It's different, obviously. But I love high school basketball. I love the atmosphere, especially when you get to postseason play. It's different, and I love how big the girls scene is down here. Obviously Pat Summitt had a big deal to do with that, and her legacy is being carried over. I was lucky enough to be in West Tennessee for a bit, where girls basketball is queen out there. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited. We're gonna have some fun stuff coming up in January.
Yeah, I'm from Kentucky. We don't know anything about basketball.
Oh,
who's your mama? Who's your daddy? Who's your Hoosier?
As an Illinois native, basketball was pretty big there too. So I kind of feel Joe a little bit. I grew up watching basketball a lot more than I was watching football, but I still think that the basketball players realized that they didn't want to play football.
I will also say though that several positions on the football field can benefit from guys that play basketball.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
definitely,
no doubt.
It's gonna be fun. I'm excited. Very, very excited.
Yeah, we'll bust that out once the calendar turns to 2024, and looking forward to doing a lot of that. So glad to be able to announce that in a timely manner. In this show, we have one more this year. We'll go back to Wednesday night next week to recap the BlueCross Bowl and Mr. Football winners. So we'll be back on a normal day and time next week for our final show of the season at 7:00 next Wednesday night. So make sure and stay tuned for that. For now, we need to get out of here. But before we do that, one final word from you guys. And KJ, I'm going to let you start this one.
I've never played in a state championship game. So if you're playing this week, take it in. Like, there's a lot of things that go on outside of football in Chattanooga. Go be active in the moment. Like, there's not going to be a moment like this ever in your life. Like, take it in. Fans, pick up a player. They're playing their last game. Win or lose, pick up a player. Some seniors might win and they just realize that they're never going to be able to play again with their teammates. So please just pick up a player, win or lose, and let's have some great sportsmanship this weekend.
Yeah, it's go time. Worked all year for the next 48 minutes. 48 minutes to be remembered forever. Win a gold ball. Get a state championship ring. Have your kids, your grandkids, be able to take pride in you being a state champion. Leave it all out on the field. Play clean. Enjoy it. Embrace it. Have fun.
We get the wagon train going down to Chattanooga. Only thing I have to say is enjoy. Enjoy the trip. Be safe. But enjoy Chattanooga. Has a lot to offer. Again, I want to, thank our sponsors this year for allowing us to do what we do and bring this to you. Please, if you get a chance, if you're shopping for a vehicle, stop by Miracle Ford in Gallatin or Miracle Jeep Chrysler Dodge Ram and tell them 615 Prep sent you. If you're, looking for, HVAC stuff, ask for Python. Tell them 615 Prep sent you. Same thing with Fifth Gear Technologies. These are the people that bring, that help us, get the website going and get all the things we need to do. So please help them out. But hey, enjoy Chattanooga. Get out and enjoy the city and enjoy the games. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, this is my favorite week of the year and also the most bittersweet week of the year. It's I mean, there's nothing like it. I mean, these kids, they put in all this hard work to get here, and it's really rewarding to see kids you cover make it this far and have the opportunity to go home as state champions potentially. Sometimes they don't. We're lucky enough that 7 of the 9 games feature teams in our coverage area. We're covering all 9 games, though. We're not just doing 7. You won't see a lot of people doing that. It's going to be a blast. I'm really excited to work with these fellas. This is my first year doing state with them. I know how hard they worked last year, the year before, and all that. You won't see coverage like what we're doing anywhere else, and it's going to be a hell of a week. And I'm really excited to get down to Chattanooga with these guys. We'll be on Instagram Live tomorrow on the way. I think we're gonna. If you guys got questions you want us to answer, we're gonna have some fun on the way down there. And let's wrap this season up, boys. It's going to be a good one.
Can't say it better myself. Echoing a lot of what Joe just said. And I know we have a lot of fun with the picks and everything, and some of it's kind of tongue-in-cheek and whatever. I would show you the championship belt that we've got made up, but I'd have to get it out of the box, and that takes a lot of work. And, yeah, it is kitchen sink week for me. But it's not just for me. It's for every team that's going to Chattanooga. This is kitchen sink week. You've got to throw everything you've got into this game or it's not coming back. You can't take back the next 48 minutes. Go down there and give it everything you've got. You may get a gold ball. You may not. But if you don't throw the kitchen sink at it this week, you may not get another chance. That's the most important thing I have to take away from this one. And it's a stressful week for us because we're covering a lot of games, but it's really stressful for those kids because this is a chance to make a memory that's going to last a lifetime. They want it worse than anything. And I go back to what Pearl Cone did last year. It looked like they were going to get a state title, and then they had it taken away from them in the last few minutes. And to see those kids' eyes after that game, they set out on the mission 1 year ago, and they've gotten here right at the doorstep, and they're about to kick the thing down. And I can't be happier for a lot of these kids that are playing this week because they're getting the opportunity to win a championship, and there's no better feeling. And I also got to say thank you to each one of y'all who have interacted with us this year because it's been a great year for us. And the reason we're doing basketball is because you all have been so great in interacting for us, and it gives us a reason to want to do it. And that's really important to take away from all this. This is going to be a fun week. I'm glad I get to do with these guys, and I'm glad you guys are all along for the ride. And let's have fun. Let's enjoy it. And hopefully, fingers crossed, the rain stays out for a few more days, and then it can rain the whole month of December.
Yeah. One more quick shout out. One more quick shout out to all the supporting cast, family members, wives for a couple of us, for us cast members here. Thank you so much for another great year, for allowing us to do what we enjoy to do. We love you and we appreciate you.
Shout out to my cat.
Shout out to my parents. Y'all the GOAT.
Shout out to all of y'all.
Shout out to KJ's parents.
Shout out to my wife over here who gave her
The
right
real
knee for-
MVP.
Yes. The OG MVP.
Yeah.
100%. Join us back here next Wednesday, 7 o'clock. We'll recap all the fun in Chattanooga and Mr. Football finalists and award winners. And we'll wrap it up and put a bow on the season for 2023. But from all of us here at 615 Preps, thank you so much for joining us tonight. For Scott, Cam, KJ, Joe, I'm Chris. We're out of here. We'll see y'all in Chattanooga. Psych.
Not it.
No, I'm not apologizing yet.
I was going to make him apologize. We wanted to play it one more time for you, but nice little fake out. See you in Chattanooga. I almost went the entire year without making that mistake.
I was like,
We're still
did
live.
that make you do that?